little bit higher. I'm a crying, I'm a lying. Just a little bit higher. I'm a crying liar. Can you take me just a little bit? So this was our first show, the biggest the Battle of the Bands that started us off. And I was roadieing for this kid's original band, which is Cam's first band, which is Domination Obliteration.
Yes.
Which was a death metal 5-piece, which was from Upper Trail. And so we find out we're competing in the Battle of the Bands, and they're one of the rivaling bands. What do? We destroy them.
Yeah.
I used to roadie for them, and we come into this competition and beat them. That gave me good pride. Like, I felt good about that, and that's probably why I've stayed with this band thing so long.
Just because you kicked my ass?
No, it's because I've got the pride from that first show. So thank you, Domination Obliteration.
I first met Stu, Battle of the Bands.
How did I meet them? Battle of the Bands. Stu, we actually met, well, not formally met, at Battle of the Bands. He was the guy who gave us our money. And after that, we just heard that he did some recordings. So we got in contact with him, and he got in contact with us, and that's pretty much the story.
Stu, you're a good guy. You know, when you're doing an album, you know, you have the producer, connect with the band. You know, if the producer doesn't really fit with the band or doesn't really know the style, or you know, it just kind of makes things awkward, and you don't really get a good album. But when you guys have good chemistry, the producer and the band, you get a pretty good album turnout. And I think
I'd rather go and fix.
He's a good guy and
put my efforts into fixing real blunders.
For now.
And there's a couple.
Stu, you don't have to talk into the mic.
It's a habit. Like Roger Dalton. Okay.
What is it like recording with SOTU?
Oh, let's just have Brennan come
Big
in.
pain in the ass.
Ken, do you want to get my keys? They're in there on his line.
Does that answer your question?
They were where?
The last rep on that was perfect. The first three were terrible. Pretty good. They're pretty prepared when they come in the door. Musically. They're really driven bunch of young men. It's something I like doing, and I get paid for doing it. I don't make a ton of money, but it doesn't matter to me. I just love doing it, and I think it shows when I work with the band.
When you're doing an album, you know, you got to have the producer, connect with the band. You know, if the producer doesn't really fit with the band or doesn't really know the style, or you know, it just kind of makes things awkward, and you don't really get a good album. But when you guys have good chemistry, the producer and the band, you get a pretty good album turnout. And I think with Stu, he's a good guy.
You know, make you go rewrite it or whatever. You know, we can pick out the good stuff, right, and say, okay, focus on that and go work on it. So I gotta do that. I can't let you just come in here on the second album and just. It's got to be better. Everything's got to be better, right? I don't have the benefit of any kind of automation, so I have to do it all by hand, which is a challenge, but it gets done. My tools are recording decks. They were just sort of cheaper to get a hold of, and I find them a little more quicker, easier, more efficient to use. They're portable as well. All that I'm, never going to be the best producer in the world, but my past, like I said, my passion comes through, and I think it shows through in the recording. So I seem to have developed the way of getting that performance out of somebody when they don't really want to do it.
I just wanted to actually say how the process goes, how this works, how it comes together. So what happens first is we'll all go in for a meeting with Stu or whatever, and we'll just talk about certain aspects of, actually exactly how we're gonna do it, how he wants to do it, different aspects of things. So what we'll do is first we'll obviously we do drum tracks first, which is me, and we go in and I'll do drum tracks, and Cam and Ty will also be there doing what we call ghost tracks on the guitar and stuff. And it's just reference for me, so when we're in there recording it, I have something to play too. And then once we get drum tracks down solid, we'll go and do bass usually first. I think we did most of them like that on the album. We'll do bass tracks, get bass tracks down solid to the drums. You know, sometimes we'll do bass tracks and then we'll notice something on the drums. We'll have to go back and change it. And then, so once that's all done, once the bass and drums are nice and tight together, what we'll do is we'll go do guitars, and Ty will usually go and do a rhythm section. Sometimes he'll put one guitar in a song, sometimes he'll put two guitars in a song, and sometimes he'll put three guitars in a song. And Ty's actually very picky with the sound. He's very picky with what he wants in it. And I don't actually blame him. It sounds pretty neat what he comes up with, all the harmonics or whatever. And then once all that's down, you got your guitar tracks, however many, your bass, your drums. Then we go in and do vocal tracks, and we'll get good solid vocal tracks down for Ty. And then Cam will go in and do his backup harmonies. And I'm pretty sure Cam's in all the songs. I'm actually in 2 songs. I did 2 songs, and I think Stu got his voice in one of the songs. So that's pretty much that's how we do the album. That's how we did this album.
Well, when I was growing up, the first bands I ever listened to were the Beatles, Texas Tornadoes, all the poppy stuff from the 60s. And as I got older, I started getting into more grungy, sort of Nirvana sound. And from there, I just liked everything.
My idols are definitely going to be different than Ty or Brennan's. My idols, even as a kid growing up, were like Avenged Sevenfold, Sum 41, Blink 182, kind of even more heavy metal bands like Disturbed.
Fell in love with Green Day as soon as I started listening to them, and to this day, Green Day is still my biggest influence. And they're still turning good music out too, so.
What inspires my songs is really anything. Like if there's something in the news that just captures my eye, I'll write about it.
I grew up listening to John Denver and the Beatles and John Lennon with my older brother in his room, and down the hallway was my sister with Elvis and Barbra Streisand. Somewhere along the line, my sister bought me a Kiss album, and that was it. From there, I was kind of a rocker from then on. How many girlfriends do you think you'll have through this recording?
How many girlfriends do you think I'll have through this recording?
Yeah.
1.
Oh, that was a good answer.
I've had 1 for the past.
It's a good diplomatic answer, Captain Kirk.
Why do you call me Captain Kirk?
Because if Captain Kirk was stuck on an island somewhere with nobody on it, he would find the girl.
Apparently I found the girl all the time.
Cameron is one of my best friends. He's been my best friend ever since we've been in the same band together, even before then. We have a lot of fun together some nights. Don't really get into arguments that much. We don't really yell at each other. We don't fight or anything like that. So he's a good friend, really good friend.
We're going 4 bars before we go into the da 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 da. It's at the end of the 4th bar.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, that's 4 bars. Yeah.
They're all pretty efficient. Cameron's probably the most efficient in terms of recording. He comes in and gets it done and goes home.
We can hold up. Definitely not hold up. Let's do it slower. Slower? Before I die.
This is band practice.
Cameron is the workhorse bass player who probably goes a little bit too fast out of the gate, but he'll learn. Very solid. All 3 of them take direction very well.